Dave Meslin.
Thank you very much. Good morning. Great to be here. Thanks for giving us an opportunity to speak on this important matter. Is this on? Great. First of all, I just want to be clear that I'm not speaking on behalf of the Toronto Cyclists Union. I'm the founder of the Cyclists Union, but Andy Garcia is here as the official representative of that group, representing over 1,000 cyclists. I'm here representing Dave Meslin, so don't take what I say too seriously. I'm just one guy. There's a lot of good things in this report, and I think there's a lot of bad things in this report, and I'm not going to try and weigh them against each other. Some people have said it's a small step forward and a huge step back, or vice versa. I think that's hard to measure. I'm just going to congratulate you on the things that I like, and complain a little about the things I don't like, and put forward some constructive amendments that I think might help bring us towards consensus solutions. First, on the physically separated bike lanes, I'm really excited about this. I've been calling for these sorts of things for years. We're way behind cities like New York City. Ottawa just put one in this year. Montreal has it. We have streets that have the width for that, like Richmond and Adelaide, and I think it's really exciting to see this move forward. I was actually in Brooklyn last week, and I took a ride on the Prospect Park separated lane. It felt very safe. It was working well for cyclists and for drivers. And I posted a video on my Facebook page, and the first response I got on it was this fellow. I don't even know him. Anthony Murray. An excellent idea. I think it would be enough for me to dust off my own bike and feel safe about cycling. And I think that's exactly what physically separated lanes are about, creating an extra safety feature that gets people to try cycling who haven't tried it already. And for all the condos that are being built in that area, we want to get those folks on bikes, and I think separated lanes is the way to do that. Then we've got Scarborough. This one's tough because we're weighing two very valid issues. One is democracy and one is safety. We have a local councillor who was elected on a platform that consisted of removing bike lanes on Pharmacy and Birchmount. We also have those bike lanes which people are using in small numbers, but they are being used, and it would be a safety issue for those people if it was to be removed. I have two proposed amendments, and I have copies that I'll be able to hand out in a moment. I'll just read them out. The first one is that any bike lane in Scarborough be removed only after proper community consultation. I don't think we can assume that an election is a referendum on a single issue. There's lots of reasons why people might have voted for the councillor. One issue might have been these lanes, and in fact maybe every single resident in the ward wants them out. We don't know that. We know that many calls have gone into the councillor's office complaining about these lanes, but we also know, I've worked in a councillor's office, I was Joe Mahevic's EA, and I remember quite clearly that residents are more likely to phone in when they don't like something than when they do like something. So if someone's driving on Birchmount or Pharmacy and they like the lanes and think they're okay, they're not going to phone up the councillor and say, I just want you to know these lanes are okay. But the people who don't like them will phone in. So let's have a community consultation. Let's support the democratic process and allow the people who do use those lanes and the people who drive and the people who live on those streets to have their say. I don't think that's a lot to ask. I think it's quite reasonable, and I have proposed wording for that. My second amendment is, in the case of lane removals in Scarborough, the repainting should only occur after alternative routes are completed. I've heard convincing arguments from the councillor that, there's other routes in the area that could accommodate the flow, and I think that's a valid point, and let's just make sure that those routes are built first. And let's make sure that all the routes in the area that could manage that flow, that there's a coordination happening. There's three parts in this report that affect that area. One is the removal of Birchmount and Pharmacy. One is the Dawes Road lane. And one is to talk about the various hydro corridors and trails. And if I can just throw this up quickly, it's interesting that in the report, there isn't really a connection drawn between the three of those that all intersect at the exact same point. So I'll just speak loudly for a second. This is the two bike lanes that are proposed to be removed. Right here, right here. This is the Dawes bike lane that's been proposed to go in. And this is a connector that would really replace the north-south traffic being removed, that according to this is a future trail connection that isn't scheduled to be built. And this part right now is a Scarborough connection piece between here and here that there's no plan for at all. So why don't we look at the whole area as a complete issue, and I've only got 15 seconds left, so let me rant about Jarvis for a second. Removing Jarvis would be a very dangerous thing to do. There's no precedent for it. We have clear data from staff showing that it does work. 900 cyclists are using Jarvis. If you remove that lane, you're putting those lives at risk, and you'll see unprecedented crowds here on January 12th protesting in a level of anger you've never witnessed before in this building. Thank you.
So what you're saying, we shouldn't move that amendment now, we should do it at council? No.
I have copies of those amendments. Can I hand them out, or okay, great, thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Meslin.
Thank you, Chair.